Put Caitlin Clark on the Olympic team?
Right now?
No, no. This past Olympic team.
I knew you were going to ask this question. Honestly, I have to just say that I respected the committee's job. I understood what was at play. I understood the pros and the cons, I guess, if you want to lay it out that way.
The WNBA is in total turmoil right now, and that's not an overstatement. What just happened could mark a turning point in how the league has been run for years. This is a massive change that's rippling through front offices, coaching staffs, and anyone who believed they could continue overlooking the most exciting talent women's basketball has produced in decades. Caitlin Clark, the name everyone's been talking about, the player who turned college basketball into must-see TV almost by herself, is on the verge of something major.
For the USA women's national team for the 2028 Olympic cycle, she will take on what is known as the Grant Hill role, selecting player rosters and coaching staff. And for those of you who aren't too familiar with the WNBA or the women's side of Team USA, and Grant Hill's a little bit new in this role, Jerry Colangelo.
This is exactly what should have happened from the start, and the person driving it is Sue Bird. Yes, that's Sue Bird. A true legend who has experienced everything, won at the highest level, and arguably understands winning basketball better than the league's own leadership. What's happening now isn't just fixing a past error. It's a full-blown revelation of how severely the WNBA mishandled one of the biggest opportunities women's sports has ever seen. Let me break it all down, because this situation has multiple layers, and each one is more astonishing than the last. For months, we've watched a strange spectacle unfold, with the WNBA behaving as if Caitlin,
this country is all the talent, and that's always been the case. So I kind of just don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
I think that's how I'm coming in. But I know being a player, bringing that perspective, it's going to make my ability to support this team unique.
Our hooligans, Shell Reeves included, so full of themselves, so bound by tribalism that they just couldn't look past their own nose.
She was dismissed as just another player, another rookie trying to find her footing. But anyone paying attention knows that idea is absurd. This is a once-in-a-generation talent, a player who drove women's college basketball viewership to levels never seen before. Arenas sold out, and countless people who had never followed women's basketball tuned in simply to watch what Caitlin would do next. Her shooting range, court vision, and relentless competitiveness go beyond the game itself. And how did the WNBA respond to this rare opportunity? By largely ignoring her. The issues go much deeper, beginning with those in charge, and leadership groups so entrenched in its own ways that it failed to recognize what was right in front of it.
Team has also been getting a little bit of backlash, right? Yeah. And now she's decided to make her X profile private. This is kind of the still same realm of what we're talking about, Dan.
Well, you know, you're supposed to be above it. I always felt like as a coach, I got to watch everything because I got to lead. And whether it was going into a team meeting, I wanted to be prepared.
They're so trapped in this strange sense of tribal loyalty that they can't recognize what's obvious. Cheryl Reeve and other league decision-makers have been acting as if they're engaged in political maneuvering rather than focused on expanding the game. Now they're running headfirst into consequences they never anticipated. Sue Bird has just been appointed managing director of USA Basketball, and anyone familiar with her knows she isn't interested in politics or optics. She's there to win, plain and simple. No favoritism, no agendas, and no denying elite talent because it might upset certain people. And this is where things take a turn. Sue Bird is poised to do what should have happened long ago. Place Caitlin Clark on Team USA. And I don't mean
talked about story of the 2024 season. You want to know? You want me to tell you? Okay, I'll tell you. It was Caitlin Clark being snubbed from the Olympics. Yes, that story, that headline that had Stephen A. Smith talking, that had everybody and their mama talking. And what's crazy about it, we all remember the storyline down to
nada maybe, nada we'll see. This would be a sure thing, completely locked in. The kind of obvious decision that makes you question why it wasn't made in the first place. And yet, we all know why it didn't happen. When last year's Olympic roster was being selected, Caitlin was coming off a historic college season. She swept major awards, shattered records once thought untouchable, and captured the attention of the entire country. Still, she was overlooked and left off the team. The explanations offered were weak, claims about chemistry and experience, but everyone understood there was more behind it than what was being said.
To get her sixth medal to make history, and then ultimately she got benched. She got benched. Now, what if I was to tell you that the WNBA made it their business to clean house? What did I tell y'all at the beginning of this offseason going into this preseason? Kathy Engelberg is going to get rid of everybody that wrong Kate.
They were afraid of what it would mean to give a young superstar the stage she had earned. Afraid of the spotlight, the pressure, and the unavoidable comparisons to longtime veterans. The irony couldn't be clearer. Remember the storyline they promoted instead? Diana Taurasi chasing a sixth gold medal to cement her legacy. That was supposed to be the headline. But what actually happened? Taurasi barely played and spent much of the time on the bench, turning the narrative into something close to a farce. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark was at home, watching a team that could have desperately used her energy, shooting, and ability to create offense out of nothing. The games were tight. France nearly pulled off the upset in the final. And while Team USA did walk away with gold, it's impossible not to wonder how different things might have looked with Caitlin on that roster.
And I think at the end of the day, it's hard to criticize a gold medal. A lot of people see the final game against France. They see, only winning by a couple points, and they view that as some sort of indicator. But the reality is we've been having close games at the Olympics for years. I can attest to that. So that wasn't really that new. Winning a close game like that wasn't new.
She doesn't operate the way the WNBA has been operating. She has no interest in preserving the status quo or shielding anyone's ego. Her entire career has been defined by one goal: building the strongest possible team to win titles. And right now, that means Caitlin Clark is finally about to get her opportunity on the biggest stage in international basketball. The WNBA will be forced to watch as its biggest misstep unfolds in front of a global audience, watching Caitlin compete and shine against the best players in the world, while having to justify why they failed to act sooner. The truth is, they saw this coming all along. They simply chose to look the other way. And this isn't an isolated incident. There's a clear pattern here. For years, the WNBA has made baffling choices that leave fans questioning whether anyone in charge is really paying attention. Time and again, elite talent gets overlooked.
Wonder who they're going to pick as the coach. Because obviously she's UConn. Who's she going to pick for the players? There is going to probably be some UConn freaking bias here with Sue Bird. But of all the UConn people, she's the least likely to have full-on UConn derangement level bias. There's definitely going to be some UConn bias. But
the league continues to focus on the wrong priorities while sidelining the very stars who could grow the game. And nowhere is that clearer than in the officiating. Caitlin Clark has consistently taken heavy contact with little to no whistle, while similar plays elsewhere draw instant fouls. It's felt less like inconsistency and more like a pattern. Despite coming off a historic MVP-level college season and becoming must-watch television, she was left off Team USA under flimsy excuses that didn't hold up to scrutiny. The reality was simple. The league was afraid of the attention and disruption her stardom would bring. Now, everything has changed. With Sue Bird stepping in as managing director for USA Basketball, winning, not politics, comes first. Bird recognizes elite talent when she sees it, and Caitlin Clark is impossible to ignore. As Clark continues to dominate and draw massive attention, the WNBA is left scrambling to justify years of questionable decisions. The spotlight is finally where it belongs, and this time, it's not going away.